question mark. I had to restart. One of the video feeds wouldn't pick up. Had to restart. Sorry, we're here. Good morning, another new week starting. You have Chantal. You have a couple of Chantals. Actually, this one. The package is a Chantal. Pie paper is out. Thank you. Chocolate eggs all around. Paper's out. Today's the last day. There are 2 colors left. I've got to do the hair, the black hair over the top, and then I've got to do the lettering. All goes well. That first batch should be finished tonight. And then tomorrow, sizing and paper staining, toning for the next batch. But yeah, the first batch will be finished tonight. It was easy actually, because she's been helping me with this for days and days, and I have not been responding well. I keep throwing eggs to John and ignoring other people. Sorry about that. I don't really keep track of this very well. Sorry. Okay, so what are we doing today? I know you probably know what's going on. Of course, it's continuing carving on the Patreon print. But actually I have to put that aside a little bit because I have to insert another bit of carving for the July print for this year's series. We did a color separation. I don't want to get into the whole story. I don't know if Jed's in it today. We had very difficult time with color separations on this one. And it's been, oh, and oops, we need one more block. Oops, we need one more block. And oops, we need one more. And I don't dare ask Kawasaki-san to do it. We've used up her limit of time she can spend on this. They're subscription prints. They're very inexpensive prints. And this is now up to 9 blocks. And she's done 8 for me, and I cannot ask her to do one more. So I myself, I'm going to step in and do one more quick block for the July subscription series print. Like we'll ever be able to send it, I don't know, but anyway, we've got to keep making these things so far. So that's going to interfere this morning, just a bit of extra work. What I'll do, it's also noisy, so yeah, what I'll do the knife work on it, cutting around it, and put it aside for the Patreon print and save the noisy part for when we're off the camera. Karen says, I hate that just one more block thing. Tell me about it. 30 years I've been doing this. Tell me about it. So, in the beginning, this was the thing. You're making a print and it's not right and it needs another block and you're, oh crap, more money, more time, more whatever. But that's the wrong attitude. You just have to, whatever it takes to do the thing. Whatever it takes to do it. You do that when you're printing. Finish a batch of 200 prints or get close to the end and realize that one of the colors is too light. Do it again. All over 200 prints, you have to do it again. And if you start thinking that these are bad things, this is trouble, oh my God, what are we going to do? Then it just kills you. Koreangami. Go ahead, you show me. Well, make a video or stream discussing how we separate colors. I don't know. It's not a single easy thing. The kind of work we do, for example, the ukiyo-e type prints. When you look at an ukiyo-e print, wherever, it's visible. There's the red, there's the blue, there's the purple. It's probably both together. It's dead easy. When you make these kind of prints, these Shinhanga prints, there's no rules anymore. There's no rules anymore. It's not something you can see when you look at the design. There it is. It's calculation, trial, calculation, error, calculation, trial, and error. So I don't think I can make a simple video. Here's how we do this. It's really experience. There's no, Karen obviously struggling with the same thing. She said she knows the one more block feeling. There's no way through this except to start with a simple print with simple color separations. Okay, I got that, and try something a bit more complex. Seeing the errors could be good, but what I'm trying to say, I guess, is that it's not a single type of process. Just every job is different. Every single job is different. Anyway, let's get on to some of this. Let's get on to some of this. Okay, Dave, wake up. nobody seems to have noticed what's going on here. Last week I changed a major system here, and nobody has mentioned it, and I think nobody actually caught on to what was happening. I rearranged the whole microscope thing. I have two Meiji microscopes here. This is the older one, a System 5. And I have a newer one, which I've been using for the past couple of years, a System 8. And whatever, without long technical discussion, System 8 gives you a wider field of view. It's the same concept. It's all the same magnification, the same everything. But they redesigned it. The System 8s have a much wider physical field of view. But they require, because of that, they require a bigger distance. For any given level of magnification, the scope has to be a farther distance away. And it was okay, it's more room for your hands and stuff. But you may have noticed over the past year or so, I've been up here like this, looking down into the scope, stretching my back and trying to get this. And there's limits to how close you can get it to the work. I switched back last week to my System 5, which requires a lower distance. And actually, I can just barely get my hands. You can see here, that's the lens hanging down. And there's just barely enough room to get my hand in there. It gives me the same field of view. It's much more relaxed. I'm sitting here. Actually, I'm kind of slumped a little bit here now. And, nobody seems to have noticed this. And so I elevated the block here so I can pull up. Without elevating the block, I've really got to go down and slump like this. And that's tough on my shoulders and back. So I've lifted the whole system up by putting an extra piece of wood underneath here. When I was first using this System 5, I didn't think about doing that, so I was really quite slumped over, and then the change to a System 8 was really dramatic. So I found a halfway. This is kind of halfway between the two. Fly fish for fun. Yeah, I don't know what you've got. If you've got a 5 or an 8, it's the same numbers. The specs are the same in the book when you look at the scopes. But the distance from the work changes, and they don't really mention that in the specs because they don't think it's so important. Ian said 5. Yeah, this is a binocular. The other difference is the 8 I have is a trinocular. And the reason last week that I pulled it away is because the trinocular has that big box on the back of it, and it meant I couldn't get close enough to the light. And that's really the reason I switched over last week. The trinocular had me forward, the light was back, and it was difficult to get light onto the block. But switching back to the 5 now, the front to back, well, there's the back of the scope right there. The light is just behind it. So I get more light actually on my work now. So I found it isolating well there. Okay, let's go. Here's what we are. This is the one block. It's an extra block from the mountains on this print. I don't think we've shown the image of this print. It's an image of a flower field. I forget which one of the videos, which one of the movies it's representing. I don't know the Japanese name, the English name. No smooth, delicate lines here. This is all rough, ragged. Every aspect of this is rough, ragged, nothing smooth here at all. These are sort of natural objects, as a mountain, a flower field. There's nothing natural and smooth about any of them. And the flowers. So what we'll do for the flower, we'll cut around it first to get the wood out of the way. And then we'll go back and cut the edges of the flower. conversation. I'm missing all this. What's what? Sorry about this. Not sure if I'm catching what all the conversation here is about. Hold on, guys. Karen said, I saw in the middle there, she said, put bricks under the table legs. Unfortunately, Karen, that's not the solution for this one. My scope is mounted on the table. And if I bring the table up and the block up, the scope moves up at the same. It doesn't help me. So. The fans on the computer seem to be working hard today. Is there the stream is okay, is it? Everything's green across the bottom, but I'm hearing a lot of fan noise. This print is a beautiful field of hay fever. You're right. It's safflowers, kind of benibana in Japanese. One of the animes that we've been referencing in this series. This is the July print. And one of the animes that we're referencing has a scene where a young girl goes to the countryside and she's working on a farm where they're picking these safflower petals. So this is going to be a scene of a safflower field. I don't remember the name of the video, either English or Japanese. I'm sorry, I don't remember. Yeah, the July pilgrimage print, yes. So I'm sitting on a wood bench, yes, you can hear it. Creaks and creaks and crunches. No, what you're seeing here, I'm carving here. This is this is not computer printout at all. What you're seeing here, some of the color blocks are finished. This is what I mentioned about the Shin-Hanga prints. You get part way along. We can't just work from Jed's Photoshop printouts because they just don't match up. So the key block came from Jed's Photoshop, and it's, I don't know if you can barely see it, some of the lines here, the stems of this plant, some of the lines of the flowers, the outlines of some of the petals are on the key block. We did that first. Then we transferred that, and then on top of that, we manipulated some of the printouts from Jed to make sure they lined up. And that gave the white circles, the background here, some of the green in the background. And the one I'm carving here needed to know where the green was finished, and it needed to know where the mountain was finished. So I can create, what we're creating here is another block behind the house, behind the mountain, distant mountain and mountain. But we couldn't cut this block until the green block and the basic mountain block were finished. So after block 1 and block 2 or block 3 are finished, I printed them last night, pasted them down, and now using that information, they get carved. Oh, too many conversations, I don't know. They're not dandelion, they're safflower, Benny Bana. Asking about my mother, how's Betty, how's my mother doing? As far as I know, I spoke to her on Skype, not last night, 2 nights ago, Saturday evening I spoke. She seems okay, lonely of course, busy with puzzles and computer stuff. She may be here this morning, I don't know. Whether she's using her old Twitch handle or the new Twitch handle. Mom, are you here? Speak up, say hello. Okay, the cutting on this one's done, but as I said, we're going to switch over. The next step now, after this line, the zone we're looking for here is going to be behind the 2 mountains and the distant mountain behind the house. So this is the zone that we're going to keep. Everything else comes off. But the next step for me now that the line is cut, would be to get the hammer out and persuade it, get it noisy. It's too noisy for this stream, so let's just put it aside. It's also not very interesting work to see. So I'll put that aside till I get off, and we'll move ahead with the next print, more color carving on the next pair of Patreon prints, the 2020 Patreon chippies. Images by John Amos. Where were we? One hand is done, another hand is done. I was working on the Baron tying yesterday, so it looks like the rest of the work this morning is going to be on this Baron itself here. In fact, there was no peel here. That last thing, Karen is asking a question. I printed this last night on Gumpi, laid onto a stronger paper, and there's been no peel. I didn't even bother peeling it. I just cut right through the back. There was no necessary peel because I could see all the lines, so I didn't bother to peel that. I had a chance yesterday to look through that batch of paper that had been returned from Jet, the batch of washi paper that was scrunched in shipping. And it's pretty bad. Some of those creases are really, really, really deep. And of course they go right through the whole roll at two places, at the top end and at the bottom end. And they go right through, but because the paper was rolled up, when you open it up flat, the places that are creased are changed on every sheet. You know, the crease area moves across the surface of the sheet. So it's not just a question of taking the things and chopping the good zone out of it, because every sheet has the creases in a different place as it was rolled up across. You know? So I was looking at it, and looking at it, and looking at it, thinking about what to do with this. Try and moisten it, try and flatten them, try and sell it as damaged goods. People might be interested in working with it if it was cheap enough. At the same time, I was starting to get ready for the second batch of octopus prints. As I told you just a few minutes ago, I'm nearly finished now the first batch of prints. It'll be finished tonight, if all goes well. I got to get started on the second batch. And there's a problem with the paper dimensions on the octopus print. I say a problem, a situation. Back in the old days, paper was made in specific standard sizes. Well, same as it is now. Now we have A4, B4, B5, stuff like this. But back in the old days too, paper came in standard sizes, of course, because the paper maker's tools, they were all built, you know, once you built your tool for making a sheet of paper, that's the size that it's going to be. And paper makers had varied sizes available, and publishers knew what kind of paper was available, and in general things matched up. Same days now, when you go in a bookstore and see books, to a large extent, a lot of them are the same size. It matches the production system. So old ukiyo-e prints are, for the most part, in a bunch of standard sizes. There's Nishikiban, there's Oban, there's Chuban, you know, all different sizes. So most of the prints we publish here fit in with those standard traditional sizes. We've got the Great Wave, it's what's called an Oban size, and it fits exactly. You get two pieces for the standard size of paper. This is all just common sense. When I made the reproduction of a Kuchie print years ago, that Kiku no Kaori, the warm scent of chrysanthemums, I had a problem because it didn't match the traditional paper sizes. And back in the Meiji time, those Kuchie weren't published as individual prints made by traditional workshops. They were part of the magazine publishing business. The new world of books and magazines, and everything was based on Western numbers and Western dimensions and Western sizes. So those old Kuchie prints back in the 1890s didn't match traditional Japanese paper sizes. Now, partly it didn't matter because they weren't made on they weren't made on nice, beautiful hosho paper like many expensive prints of the day were. They were made for the most part on cheap, machine-made paper. And that in itself came in different dimensions and different sizes. So Dave, 15 years ago or so, when I made my print, I had a problem. I wanted to make that print at the original print size, and yet it didn't match the traditional paper sizes. So I ended up really having to figure what to do. With my larger sheet size, I could get 1 and 2 of the chrysanthemum print, but there was a big wide strip left around the edge, which wasn't big enough to make a postcard size print. It was a complete mess. I ended up using the edge of the paper that was left over to make the label strips for my Solitudes books, which were not normal print size. Okay, that job was finished. I just made 2 more and go on. I made a screw up. It's about 4 years ago when I started the octopus print. What size should we make it? The original was a small book. I wanted to make it a bit bigger than this. That doesn't work well hanging on the wall or anything. But I didn't want to make it the full size of an Oban print. That's too complex and too expensive. So I looked at the chrysanthemum print and thought, that's a good size. Let's make our octopus to match that size. Thinking just purely that it was a nice, good size, it made sense for the image to be made that way. I didn't remember, Dave, there's no paper made in that dimension. So roll ahead. The blocks are all finished. A few weeks back, you saw me, the blocks are done. Time to do test printing. How do I do this? And I did figure out a way to do it. I went upstairs to the paper storage. We have sheets of what's called Obiru Bosho, which means large, slightly widened hosho paper. And it's hosho paper the same size that would make 2 Great Waves, but expanded just a bit. It's 600 by by something, 530 or something, I forget, I can't remember the number. And what I did was you could cut 2 sheets, I could get 2 octopuses out, and then the top strip would be enough to make 3 postcard prints, and the side strip would be enough to make 3 more postcard prints. You know, our Hagaki size. They're not postcards, but they're postcard size prints. So I did that. I cut enough paper for the first 60 octopuses, which meant taking 30 sheets of this OB. And each sheet gave me 2 octopuses and 6 postcard prints. So there's now upstairs paper waiting. What is it? 6 times 30, 180 sheets of paper, 180 pieces of paper, enough to make postcard size prints. We're not selling or making any postcard size prints this recent time. So what am I going to do now for the next batch of paper for the octopus? Take another 60 sheets, get another 180 postcard size sheets ready. And then when I was looking, you know where this conversation is going, when I was looking at that damaged paper, I realized, oh my God, that paper is crunched at the top, crunched at the bottom, and the crunch space moves across each sheet one by one by one. It turns out that I haven't carefully figured this. It turns out it looks like I can get 2 sheets out of there for the octopus and just toss the crunched part. It doesn't matter. So that may be the answer for this, for the next batch of octopuses. I will try and figure that out tomorrow morning after I'm getting busy with this. It could be that that damaged paper from Jed is going to become salvageable for this particular job without worrying about how much is wasted. And I think we were also mentioning that one idea for a batch of the octopus might be to do it on toned, aged, crumpled paper. And that would be cool. Use some of that paper just as it is in its damaged form to make some prints. I missed a whole bunch of conversation here, no idea. Sorry if I can't catch questions in here, sorry, excuse me, I'll try. Salvaging the paper, yeah, we're not going to throw anything away. And what we do with all this paper, we've had this any number of times in the past couple of years. We've had some offcuts, whatever, And if they look like they're useful to somebody, Cameron will talk about it on his stream, or we'll put them on Twitter, on Instagram, something like that. So don't worry, we're not going to throw away stuff that could be useful to somebody. And if I do get octopuses out of those things and the rest is no good to us, we won't even be trying to sell it. It'll just be, you know, Cameron will bundle it in batches of 50 sheets each, and first come, first serve or something. So don't worry, just the place that would be put on, if that does happen in the next couple of weeks, it would be on the Insta channel. So just watch the Instagram channel, and if this paper does come to be useful, that's where we'll be talking about it. It's not just a question of, if the paper seems damaged, why don't we just press it? We can, of course, we can press it quote flat, unquote flat. But what's happened is with paper that's been creased like this, the internal structure of the paper has been damaged. And no matter how much we press and carefully moisten and press and carefully moisten, the paper structure has been damaged. And there's creases there that just won't come out and will be visible. So believe me, there's stuff we know how to fix, and there's stuff that just simply isn't fixed because it's like some car, whatever. It's been in a car accident and the frame has been somehow twisted. They can sort of maybe put it back, and maybe they can sort of not be able to put it back. And once something's been damaged to a certain point where this internal structure is mucked around, it's not just a question of simply pressing it. So. Anyway, we'll see. So yeah, we'll make use of that stuff one way or another. It will not simply be just thrown aside. I'll either use it, or you can use it, or somebody can use it. So don't sweat. It looks like the insurance claim is not going to happen. There's our vacuum ladies again over at the hotel across the street. Can we set our clock by her? Is she that accurate? I don't think so. I think it's around 8:30 or something. You guys are really having fun today over there. I'm missing all this, but whatever. Where I featured an episode of Somewhere Street on NHK. Yes. I think it was not very well done, but whatever. That's an interesting program. The people I speak to in Japanese really like that program, but I don't think. Whatever. I guess there's a mood or feeling I just don't get. I don't know. I just want more information. But, KP, are you still printing some of the Firefly prints? Yes, I certainly hope so, because we've got orders for them. Tell Shunta, not time yet, not time yet. The onsen video, that's years and years and years ago. That was my last job for NHK before they told me I was history. So 3 years ago, so Kinosaki Onsen. It comes back now and then. I did 5 or 6 of those travel programs for NHK, and every now and then they put them back up on the they put them back up on their play, video on demand and stuff. So. If it's Kinosaki Onsen, that's me on there. Yeah, we did it, as I said, 3 or 4 years ago. So. What are we carving? So these are the chibis. These are the gift prints for the people on the Patreon campaign. This is this year's, the 2020 Patreon chibis. They're supposed to be mailed sometime in May. Most certainly that's not going to happen. But they are happening. They will get to people at some point. Cameron is late again, is it? I don't think he's going to be here today. No. I don't think he's going to be here today. Of course, he's at home. I tell you, he's got the 3-year-old kid there, and then his wife came back from the hospital late last week with the other baby, with a new baby. So he's at home in a nice, normal apartment with a 3-year-old kid and a wife and a new baby. But what could, no big deal. He's not spending too much time on the computer. At the moment, orders and stuff coming in are very, very low. What's going to happen for him? Well, this is the 27th, and in 4 more days at the end of the month. And the subscription bill, with all its back and forth, we can bill, but we can't bill, we can ship, we can't ship. There's going to be a ton of email requirements in the next few days. So I think at the moment he's probably keeping away from the computer for a while, because 4 more days from now he's going to be a busy man. So. Somebody's talking about truck traffic. Are there lots of trucks today? I don't know. No idea. Most of the bars and stuff around here are closed. Most of them. There are still a few holdouts. The Pachinko parlor down the street is still holding out. There's quite a lot of social trouble about that here. In fact, there was a very unusual news announcement. Was it yesterday or the day before? The Osaka Prefecture governor. He held up a sign with the name of 6 Pachinko parlors. This is a big deal. To name and shame people here in Japanese society is a big, big, big deal. There's a few bars. The Whale restaurant across the street, of course, as you would expect, he's still open. The Korean hot dog place, churning away, still open. The local bar next to me, the Orange Bar, said he's tried to change his business model. Instead of being a late night bar, he's now switched to a daytime bar. Trying to switch to a daytime bar. It's going to be an interesting test. We're coming up to what used to be called, well, I guess it still is, the Golden Week series of holidays. It's sort of irrelevant now because everybody's at home anyway. But traditionally in a Golden Week, everybody is, okay, let's get out, get around, get in your car, go someplace and visit places and stuff like that. And nowadays, and I think this is also happening in America, people outside of the major towns, the small town areas, that normally say, hey, come and visit us, bring your cars, bring your money, whatever, they are now like, we do not want you guys coming here at the moment. So this is now very easy. What's going to happen over the next few days? What's going to happen during Golden Week? A lot of people, and I mean a lot of people, in their house, a tiny Japanese house. It's not like an American house with a big backyard and dining room and playrooms and whatever. A Japanese house is a tight, tiny place. You get 1, 2 kids in there. Everybody's at home. They want to get out of there. They want to get out of there. They want to get in a car and go to the beach or go to the mountains or whatever. So these next few days, there's going to be a huge amount of this. Of stress between these two things. Families wanting to get out of town and the out-of-town places saying, sorry guys, we don't want you here. Just please keep away. I think it's not just Japan. I think that's the same sort of thing that's happening basically everywhere. I saw news reports from Wales or something. London people were getting in their caravans or whatever and heading for Wales. And those people, they don't have major hospitals. They can't deal with this stuff. That's going to be something that plays out over the next few days here. Okay. Where are we? Is that it? Actually, oh, here's a bit more. I think I'm actually nearly finished cutting this thing. Where are we? Again, I don't know, I'm sorry. The people still going to pachinko and bars, they're the people. We see them in America, you know, wherever. It's not just Japan that's doing this. There's a bunch of people that are just, whatever, this is the flu. Whatever. John's pachinko story. Yeah? This is a common story. Not to denigrate what John's telling here, but this is a common story, and I am convinced that this is. It's not beginner's luck. It's that they want to hook you. This is the thing. Oh, you're a newbie here. Really. It's a newbie. Make sure you win something. You know, and they fix the machines and whatever. The newbie puts his 2,000 or walks up with 10,000 or something, and then comes back again. Okay, happening like that all the time. So I don't know. So if this happened to John Truly, and if he hasn't been back, that's perfect. Wait a few years, go to a different place, pretend to be a newbie again. Gee, can you explain to me how these things work? I don't really know how this works, you know. Again, I don't know that this is what's happening, but I hear this kind of story enough times that makes me think that's what those guys are doing. So that would be a business model. Be a foreigner in Japan, do this in different areas, because these are yakuza guys. They will keep on you, you know. Pretend to be a newbie. Pretend you don't know anything about this. Have them explain how to use the machines, and I think you will win something. But that's just a theory. It's funny, before I came to Japan, back in the 1970s, you know, I had met that Japanese girl, I was enjoying Japanese food. I had never been to Japan, you know, and I was thinking, you know, I was reading about it. And in the years when I had lived in Toronto by myself, in whatever, 76 or 77, somewhere around there, I had enjoyed now and then, I'd go down to Yonge Street into a pinball place. I enjoyed pinball. They were the very earliest games, the Atari games. What was it? I don't know. I even forget the name of those games. You know, the ones where the aliens were shooting, coming down from the top, and you tried to shoot them from the bottom. This would be like 1977 or 78 or something. You know. They try and play a couple of those, and then the pinball machines are there. So I tried sometimes playing with the pinball machines. I'm not a pinball wizard. Nothing, zero, just a klutz. Put your 25 cents in, lose it, try again, put your 25 cents in, lose it. But I was living by myself, enjoying the restaurant around the corner, coming back, playing a tiny bit of pinball, then going home. So when I was learning about Japan, I heard pachinko, wow, it's like, this must be like pinball. Yeah, I gotta try that out when I get there, you know, gotta try it out. And the lady I was living with says, it's nothing, just forget it, it's not your thing, it's okay. I'm thinking, oh, that's okay, pinball, you know, pinball, I'll give this a try. And of course, it's nothing like it. To this day, I actually haven't. When we came to Japan, it'd be funny, we're walking down the street, there's a pachinko place, you know, I'm like, can I try this? And she's like, look in the door. And I look in the door, and there's smoke clouded down to the floor, there's noise, it's just, this is not pinball as we know it, Dave, you know. So I didn't go in, and I still have not gone in. It's not my thing. Japanese pachinko is not in any way, any form, any shape related to something interesting like pinball, where you can at least sort of, you know, play the machine and you get good at it or you're not good at it. Pachinko is just one of those bizarre things on this planet that I don't understand and will never understand, and that's all there is to it. You know. but it is a big deal here, you know, it's a big deal. It's, most of it, of course, runs underground. It's the, what do they call, the black economy or something, whatever. There's a certain amount of it. They obviously declare some level of income so that proprieties are there. It's black. Oh my God. It's just not my world. Okay, are we done? Are we is the key block cut there? I'm not sure. No, we finished. You see any lines that I missed? The next step is to clear out all this waste wood, and then after that, the next step is it will be, not today, it will be fixing this mistake. There's a mistake here. I cut away parts of the borderlines that shouldn't have been cut away. Parts of this chopsticks. So those have to be fixed. So what's next? What time is it now? 9:09. Okay, we can do a little bit of this without some massive noisy persuade. We can do a bit of quiet persuade. Get some quiet persuading. This is going to be tap, tap, tap. This is not going to be whack, whack, whack. This is going to be tap, tap, tap. I don't think you're going to need headphones here, so just relax. We'll just be tapping. Tap, 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 tap. Okay, Robbie, it's a 9:10. Okay, let me do 5-10 minutes on this. Then we have a show and tell, an interesting show and tell. It's something brand new, quite old-fashioned, but brand new. Arrived yesterday in the post. This is not auction goods, antique Japanese prints. It's something really interesting. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful woodblock prints. I know what's inside. I ordered it, but I haven't opened it yet. And we'll let you have a look at it. Give me 5 minutes here, 5-10 minutes more here. This is the part that drives some people crazy, you know. I've cut all these lines, and now we've got to clear this wood, which means with a chisel and a hammer. And this is Dave playing chicken. How close to the lines can we go? Except that I don't play chicken. I'm staying well back and away from these lines. The last thing I want is to do even more repairs. Actually, doing it like this with a hammer is safer than doing it freehand. If I get in here with a chisel and push and push and push, sometimes there's a bit of a hard spot in the wood, you put a bit more pressure on, then it releases and bang, and you've got that release, and then the knife or chisel can move too far forward and do damage. But doing it like this, there is no such danger. I'm putting the chisel in here, I'm going to tap only a tiny bit. I know exactly how far the chisel is going to move, bang, and there we are. And the chisel is not going to slide or jerk forward right to the end of the block. So this actually is really quite safe as long as I stop early enough. That's about it. I got to stop there. If I go any farther, of course, we could damage those lines. Okay, not done, but show and tell, show and tell, show and tell. Oh, so many comments today, so many comments today. Sorry about that, guys, I really have no idea. Okay. I think we talked, look at this, fragile. Andy did a nice job, look at this. This is from England. No surprise there. Oops, he spelled my address wrong. Type Dolcoup. But anyway, it's a typo. It got here. This is from Andy English. It's a book. We talked about this a couple weeks ago. You know what's inside, right? Anybody know? Have they got a link? Andy English is a friend. I've never met him. I'll call him a friend, not an acquaintance. I've never met him. He's a printmaker. He used to be a teacher in school in Britain until about, I don't know, 15, 20 years ago, making woodblock prints as a hobby, and then said, screw it, I'm going to do this. Quit his teaching job, became a printmaker. Who can read that last name? It's English, Andy English, as in I am English, and his name is English. He is English, and his name is Andy English. He became a full-time printmaker, I guess it's whatever, as I said, 15, maybe 20 years ago, whatever. And he doesn't do Japanese-style printmaking, nothing to do with Japan. He does wood engraving type printmaking. So he uses end grain wood, like boxwood or pear or stuff like this. And he doesn't use a knife like me. He uses what's called a burin. And he engraves. He scrapes lines into the wood, wide lines, thick lines, small lines, tick, 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 ticks. And when the wood is finished, he rolls ink on it and prints in a press. And he's got a Victorian era. Is it before, earlier than Victorian? He's got a couple of Victorian era presses. Nothing secret, I guess, right? Andy, I ordered, he's got a new book published, handmade woodblock printed book. As soon as I heard about it, order placed, print book received. It's a little thin book. Can somebody find the link for this for us? Is John Becker still here, Mr. Link Man? Tony, if you Google Andy English, he's got a blog which is his shopping cart, the same as a blog. AndyEnglish.com. Find the link, and the link should be to a new book he has published called, and it's a themed book. It's animals in the evening, and all of Andy's work, all of it, no exceptions, relates the themes and things that he sees and enjoys and lives with around his neighborhood. He lives in Lincolnshire, Cambridgeshire, near Lincoln Cathedral, but Cambridgeshire. Anyway, here, whatever. Here's your information. There's the website, and somebody's found the link to the book. Let's have a look at it. And this is a totally handmade book. The thing on the front, the label, is a woodblock print engraved by Andy. The paper that the book is bound in is somebody, one of his friends, acquaintances, an artist friend of his, has prepared hand marbled paper. This is a totally handmade book, hand bound, strung together. Not sure if we zoomed out, zoomed in. Let's take an overview of it first, and then we'll zoom in. And I believe the Isle hand press is, I believe, the name he gives to his workshop itself. And I said, these are woodblock prints, not carved the same way I do them, but engraved. Let's flip through first, and then we'll zoom in and look at them closer. It's clearly a series of animals in his area and his neighborhood. We can zoom in a bit. It's all going to be on one side of the paper anyway, so we might as well just zoom in. And Andy is somewhat younger than me. I don't believe he uses a microscope, but he's got glasses with this flip down sort of a lens thing. So he hunches over his block with his lenses flipped in place, because some of this stuff is microscopically detailed. And this particular, oh, it's going to be on both sides. Soko. I thought it was only on one side of the paper. It's not. Sorry about that. How did I? Is he printed on both sides? He's printed on both sides of the paper. I didn't think that was really easily possible. Look at that. Okay, let's back up a little bit here. Sorry. One side. This is, yeah, it's a single sheet of paper. He's printed on one side and then on the other. I don't know how he protects one side while the other one's going on. I don't know. And I believe his wood of choice is boxwood, although other fruit woods are used. Pear, apple, I believe. Their #1 wood of choice from years gone by. This is back in the 1700s or so, when engraving was a big deal. Early newspaper illustrations and stuff were all done with this kind of engraving. And this particular theme, because he prints almost exclusively in black ink, this particular theme, of course, really suits it. Right, let's zoom in and go back through it. And look at the scale. You can see the scale. This is my finger. So all of these dots that make up this ring around the moon, they are taken out with his different Biron. He's got different tools. I forget, they're gravers and scorpers and Birons and whatever. But everything you're seeing here, the black is the wood surface, and everything you're seeing as white has been scraped away, taken out of that wood surface. I don't know how close we can get here. So he's working with tones. The more you scrape away, the whiter, the lighter it gets. The less you scrape away, the darker the area is. So all of his work is trying to reproduce tones, but in X and Y. It's black and white off or on. There's no grayscale. Any grayscale or tone work that you see, that's your brain just fooling you. He has scraped them to give, the lighter he wants it, the lighter gray he wants it, he cuts away. And that technique is the perfect theme for something like this. And look at this, look at this, look at this. And this book, I think it's 12 handmade prints, totally handmade, hand-carved, hand-printed, hand-marbled. It's extremely inexpensive. When I saw the link in the Instagram, I thought, okay, can I afford this? Our business is closing down, whatever. I clicked to the link, saw the price, ordered in seconds. I think you'll do the same thing. I believe, and I can't criticize Andy, I think this is underpriced. Absolutely, I think this is underpriced. Did that man freeze or did my video freeze? I think he froze. I guess that's Lincoln Cathedral. This isn't there. I think you can see it from his home. He sees the spires. And this is a feature that comes back and forth in Andy's work, comes back in Andy's work all the time. As I said, everything he draws is stuff he can see and he knows from his own environment. And he does lots of landscape, he does lots of animals, he does lots of people, he does flowers, but everything is related to his neighborhood. And he's got video. There's a video somewhere on it. There's a cathedral in the background. This is very, very common thing in his work. He must have done his cathedrals dozens and dozens of times. Are there single block prints? Don't quote me, I don't know. Look on his website and see what it says there. The lettering Colson engraved. He's engraved. What you see here is white, remember, is wood that he has taken away. So he has drawn these letters with his graver scooping away wood. And somebody's mentioned stamps, and he did a few years ago. He got a commission from the people that commissioned the stamps in England. And he did a bunch of design of bees for British postage stamps. What is it? So does he sell them individually? I don't know, I'm sorry. It says some numbered in card covers, which I think is what I must have here, I guess. And then 26 specials on large paper, lettered A to Z. But is that one by one or is it a set? I don't know. His website will say. I don't know. Well, we have numbers here. You know, I don't do my numbers myself, but I get how he does this. You know. His idea is to make a certain number of copies and then keep them as art objects. But these blocks would make thousands and thousands and thousands of copies. But he doesn't want to become a printer. He wants to, you know, make new stuff. It's fair enough. Different strokes. Hedgehog pictured in the artist's garden. I said close to home, and that was no joke. There we have it. It's not Octuna. What is that a word? Octuna? I didn't see that somewhere. Okay, there we go. I'm very happy that it came, and it arrived really, really quickly too. We were in the middle of all this chaos with postage and stuff not working all around the world, but Andy shipped it, I guess, straight away. And I got it straight away, so I'm very, very happy to have been part of this, you know. There's no date on it. Oh, here. Post by the end of April 2nd, so I guess he must have printed this thing. Oh no, post by the end of April 2nd, 2020. So he must have printed this some days before. No idea. Anyway, there it was, and here it is. So, just to show. Andy, of course, is not here on this stream. He's busy printing. Okay, I think that was fun to show. Thank you very much. Here's the schedule. It's now February 4th. It wasn't that long ago. Did I see this in February? No. We talked about it on the stream here. I put the link to the thing as soon as I heard about it. February, March. It can't be that long ago. Don't know. Anyway, there it is. Okay, it's Monday morning now. I will be now printing this afternoon. I'm heading upstairs to do printing on the octopus. I will be back here 3 days from now. I have 3 days to get to work, and I'm not sure what I'll be doing. I could be doing color blocks for the Patreon print. We could even possibly have a sizing stream, because I've got to do more sizing for paper for the octopus, and then for some of our other printers. So I don't know. I will be here next Thursday morning. Thanks very much, guys. See you then. No, don't. Bye-bye for now. Thank you.